Hey there, it's Enderverse. July has been a prosperous month for the community. There have been some incredible new inventions like the ability to run Forge on Fabric, also big updates on boards that have long been anticipated, and more. This is a very important wrap up and I urge you not to miss it. Now let's dive into the video. Starting with the third update of the species mod. Different from update 2 and update 1, this one included 6 new mobs instead of the usual 5. The ghoul is a blind monster lurking in the caves. When hungry, the ghoul will send and emanate sonar waves. Any entity the waves pass through will be shredded to pieces. I couldn't find any way to evade the waves, so you will have to fight and defeat the ghoul if you want to survive. Upon defeat, the ghoul drops its tongue, which can be used to brew bloodlust potions, and head, which can be placed as a trophy. The Wicked is a mob that possesses entities nearby, magically empowering them to be faster, stronger, and more durable. Once you kill it, this mob drops some raw materials that can be crafted into a smoke bomb, great for quickly fleeing the area, and the Wicked Reach, which will empower your pets for a short period of time. The Spectres are mobs that protect the sword in the middle of this tension. Each time you pull the sword, a wave of Spectres will be triggered. Their mission is to keep you busy, because the sword stabs back on the stone with time, so you must defeat the Spectres as quickly as possible. This, of course, is easier said than done. The waves get stronger, and some of the buffy variants can knock you back aggressively, so not an easy job. Once fully pulled, this sword will serve you greatly, as it can summon Spectres through claiming the souls of defeated mobs. The drops from the Spectres are also useful. They can be crafted into light sources with the same neat light beam effect of the sword structure. The Quake is a golem shielded with a copper plate. This mob is very dangerous as it absorbs shocks, releasing them in one big shockwave and aliving everyone around it. The only way to defeat the Quake is to attack it while it's repairing itself, but be quick before it's back on absorption mode. There's a chance the Quake will drop some raw materials craftable into a shield and a dummy. The shield will do what you'd expect, accumulate damage and release it to surrounding mobs, while the dummy won't absorb shocks. Instead, it will reflect it instantly. The best way to use both is to first give mending and unbreaking to the shield, unless you want to break it after 2 attacks. And second, activate the dummy so that it starts absorbing shocks. Then set up a redstone contraption which triggers the release of a shockwave each time a person passes through your door. To not make this section longer than it already is, and to preserve an element of surprise, I won't spoil the remaining mobs. Check them out and see their fun mechanics for yourself, my friend. Kilt is a mod that will allow you to play your favorite Forge mod on Fabric. I tested Mouse's mobs and the bosses were decent, no issues at all. However, the tools and the weapons were not functional. Timeless and Classics, on the other hand, worked flawlessly, as did Alex's mobs, though Elender's Cataclysm crashed immediately. Sinistro Connector is invaluable. However, I've seen more cases of people wishing to run Forge mods on Fabric than the other way around, so Kilt is one of a kind, and will likely become a giant on the modding scene. This next mod ports the Creatures and Beasts project to 1.20.1. The original mod was discontinued for 2 years, and it's a shame considering the amount of high quality mobs it added to the overworld, Nether, and the end too. There are also a couple of tools and items to craft and obtain from said mobs, in addition to unique interactions such as hunting lizards and releasing them back to the wild. I'm glad such awesome content is finally being well utilized, as the Creatures and Beasts are now going to be introduced to huge RPG mod packs. Personally, I never play mods alone. I have a server where I enjoy the content with some friends. It feels better to discover all the exciting and fun new features with people, especially those who never played mods before. If you know a friend or two who are willing to start modding, then I would recommend picking up a server over at Pine Hosting, today's sponsor. Pine Hosting will provide you with servers that include some of the most powerful CPUs in the world, SSD storages, and plenty of locations around the globe starting at $3 per month. If you are new and want to just install a kitchen sink mod pack to enjoy a bunch of mods together, you can do so with the click of a button. No headaches or server installation process. And speaking of installation, the control panel is quite comprehensible. No excessive options that may scramble you, just the necessary folders to install data packs, extra mods, and so forth. The customer service here is also impeccable, available for your help 24/7 and not delegating AI for auto answers. There's even a Discord server where you can join and see the people who've used the service themselves. This way you can fusion and warrior cleared beforehand. Usually, it's 25% off, but Pine Hosting were kind enough to give you guys 30% off your first purchase when you use my code ENDER. Hope that helps, and let's go back to the video. Just enough guns will add a huge amount of beautiful weapons to the game, complete with awesome sounds, impressive models, and fluid animations. You may also enhance your weapon through attachments, making it silent, more accurate, and so forth. I love this mod at first sight. Opposite to the common options, Just Enough guns had weapons that are very close to being vanilla friendly. Their models were simple, less shiny, and some were even entirely inspired by the vanilla game, like the Blossom Rifle. Recently, the mod started to add new vanilla-based mobs, with the new creatures being zombies, skeletons, or phantoms but with rifles and machine guns. There's even a boss called the Terror Phantom, which summons tens of phantoms, effectively airstriking you. Never before have I considered a guns mod for my personal server, so cheers for the author. They managed to produce a warfare mod that doesn't scratch the vanilla essence so much, which is quite rare. Vintage Vibes is a mod having to do with nature. Strolling around, you may come across new types of flowers with some beautiful butterflies circling them. There are also a couple of aesthetic features like new masks to wear, building blocks to use, and crystals to decorate your interiors. This is a small mod, but I would add it just for the butterflies and the masks. Those were my favorite features. But tell me, what are your favorite features about it? Vital Herbs also has to do with nature, but in a more functional manner. The mod added a couple of herbs that can be used in a variety of ways. For example, you can brew tea with it, courtesy for the friends over at the UK. These teas were not just a convenience. Depending on the herbs used to brew them, teas can give you plenty of short-term buffs. The herbs can also be used to craft tools. There are the basic ones that can be made in a crafting table, and the advanced types that require complex processes to be crafted, though the effort is well rewarded, with the tools having special abilities like lighting up dark spaces. The mod included a truckload of features, so to see its true potential, I recommend installing it to your server and learning with your friends. Kaleidoscope Cookery is a new mod having to do with food, including plenty of delicious meals and enjoyable ways of cooking them. There is the frying pan that needs oil to begin cooking, a cooking pot with a lid that can be added and removed, and even a shawarma pit that I haven't figured out how it works. It seems this mod is receiving the attention it deserves. Many people are starting to acknowledge it, and soon it may start rivaling giants such as Farmer's Delight mod. This mod adds a beautiful house that is wrapped around a jungle tree. This place was awesome from the inside as the outside, having many corners for a variety of uses, either being corners for smithing, corners for enchanting, corners for farming, etc. There's even this awesome platform designed specifically for taking off with the elytra, and a bedroom all the way at the top. I guess by now you are convinced to kick out the villagers and claim this place as yours, or if you are a kinder person, grab it clean of all its valuables and leave. Whatever it may be, enjoy. Explosion Overhaul is a VFX mod that dramatizes explosions in the game, with realistic smoke effects, a shaky screen, and even blocks spraying from the side. As you can see, this mod is compatible with shaders, which is surprising looking at the amount of visual effects included here. Sadly, the mod isn't client-sided. It does things to the environment, and so you can't join public servers with it. But if you are the owner of the server, it's worth adding, especially if the theme is about warfare. Koopa's Creatures is an animal mod that has been ported over to 1.2 and 1.1 after years of stagnation. The unique thing about this mod is the reason each animal was added. The authors purposefully included endangered species, this way they can spread awareness about said animals. Besides its noble purpose, the quality of these animals was awesome, and they've been designed to be as accurate to the real-life counterparts as possible. So, cheers for the good work! Another mod having to do with animals is Biologica. This one, however, is predominantly about extinct creatures. Recently, the mod received a huge update that scaled up the fauna, adding tons of new creatures. There are fairy and woolly mobs like the mammoth, huge predators like the Gigantosaurus, birds like the hornbill, and fish like the mahi-mahi. The author managed to maintain the quality of the initial release, which is commendable considering the amount of mobs added. He's also working on adding unique interactions to these maps, so I would follow the author in Curse Force or mod range. Geo, Magic and Extras is a mod that utilizes other mods to form new content. From awesome armors like the Harbinger suit, capable of flying extremely fast and obliterating enemies with rockets, to the Gauntlet of Extension, a weapon that will allow you to harness the power of the Nethermoon strategy, and finally, magical spells that will allow you to summon strong allies to accompany you, or allow you to pacify forgotten beasts and crush mobs with it. As of late, the mod started to add new bosses. I was impressed by this boss. It was complete with its own arena, music, and unique attacks, magical and physical. The boss gets progressively harder to beat, with attacks covering the whole arena and the boss himself entering a tough phase, which I sadly could not survive. This add-on is becoming more and more essential for modpacks, as it went beyond just bridging the mods to one another and began introducing new content altogether. Cheers for the author, and I have already added this mod to my server, and I recommend you do that too. Letterbox is a mod that will show you what tool, weapon, or armor the enchantment can be applied to. This is an incredible idea for a mod, as there are a lot of enchantments and newcomers can easily get confused even with descriptions. That being said, the mod would have been a lot more useful if it had mod support. It also doesn't work on 1.1 and 1.1. I hope the author takes the time to implement at least one of these suggestions. This mod will add new upgrades to Minecraft. Instead of the usual netherite upgrade, you will have a variety of new armors to choose from, each offering special buffs to their own. The fire upgrade, for instance, will make you resistant to fire and lava. The Skulk upgrade cancels out all negative effects. The Prismarine upgrade will give you conduit effects at all times, plus a few more armors to try. I like the mod, but I don't like how smithing tables became obsolete. I would suggest that the author add craftable upgrades that then can be smithed with the armors to produce the new upgraded pieces. Next up we have Magnetic, a mod that will make items slip right to your inventory when you mine them. This is actually an enchantment that can either be found on loot chests or through the enchanting table. This enchantment can be applied to a variety of tools and weapons, but apart from the pickaxe, I find it most useful for the bow, as you can hunt for ghast tears much easier. There's also a config on the mod that will make it so that you don't even need to enchant for it to work. ContainerSearch is a mod I simply can't live without. It will allow you to see the content on your containers. If you click on any item, it will point to the exact location on the vault and within the chest. If you are close to the chest, it will open that chest for you. As you can see, I'm using it on my server, which is based on Forge, but thankfully it is compatible with the Nitro Connector mod, so it will work on your Forge mod pack regardless. OhMyMeteors is a mod that will add falling rocks to your world. Once in a while, they will come falling on random locations, at random speed, and with a random size. The whole scenery is fascinating. The trails of the meteor and the meteor itself are well made. And on the site of the catastrophe, you can mine a new types of block that can be made into anti-meteor system. This way you can protect your property. There you may also find a cosmic catch. I never showcased the Create add-on on my channel, but there is a first time for everything. This add-on will add gliders that are constructed the Create way. They are awesome for traveling early game, as they require no fuel. To propel yourself forward, you will need to flap the wings. The harder you flap the wings, the faster you will go. Create add-ons can be extremely helpful, especially for people who just can't spend hundreds of hours engineering with the base Create mod. Not to say that effort is bad, but it's certainly not everyone's cup of tea these days. This next mod will add a couple of new golems to protect your base. They are not as powerful as the iron golem, but they do a great job for the materials they require. Some of the golems need to be activated, while others can help you see better in dark spaces. All in all, this is an awesome project to consider for a vanilla-friendly mod pack. Better Skies is an incredible aesthetic project that enhances the skies in the game. With this mod, the sun and moon are going to be animated, spinning as they should, while the clouds are going to be thicker and dynamic. This mod not only work with shaders but look better using them. Just make sure that you have the shader sky disabled so that it doesn't conflict with Better Skies. This is easily one of the best mods to enhance the skies in the game. and also the most stable in comparison to what it offers. Thanks for watching. Last month we witnessed the revival of more creatures. This is a big deal, so I would highly recommend that you check it out. Like and subscribe if you are enjoying my videos. And I'll see ya in the next one, friend.